Hi Reds! Manchester United are now entering the final and absolutely crucial stage of their preparations for the opening Premier League game of the 2026 to 2027 campaign, with Michael Carrick and his coaching staff putting the finishing touches to the squad ahead of Saturday's huge trip to the MKM Stadium to face Hull City. The fixture is officially scheduled for Saturday, August 22nd, and after a long summer of rebuilding, new arrivals, tactical work and pre-season testing, the real business is finally about to begin. Today's training session at Carrington was all about grass work, intensity and tactical detail, with the coaching staff concentrating on the small margins that can make the difference when the Premier League season gets underway. Rather than simply working on fitness, United's preparations are now becoming much more specific, with the players going through different exercises designed to sharpen their organisation, concentration and execution. Set-piece routines were a major part of the session, while the squad also worked on shooting drills, corner-blocking systems and defensive exercises designed to improve the backline's ability to deal with dangerous situations inside and around the penalty area. This is exactly the kind of work you would expect from a team that knows the first Premier League match is now only days away. From my point of view, the emphasis on defensive organisation and set pieces is particularly interesting. United have spent much of pre-season trying to establish Carrick's footballing identity, and now the focus has to shift from experimentation to reliability. Against Hull, United cannot afford to be sloppy from corners, free kicks or defensive transitions. These are the moments where newly promoted sides can make life extremely uncomfortable for bigger clubs, especially in the opening weeks of a Premier League campaign. If Carrick can get United disciplined without taking away their attacking freedom, I believe the Reds have every chance of starting the season strongly. The latest training developments also come with an important boost for the squad, because Benjamin Sesko and Matthijs de Ligt have reportedly returned to full training ahead of the Hull game. De Ligt's return is particularly encouraging after his long recovery from back surgery, while Sesko's involvement could give Carrick another major attacking option. Mason Mount, however, remains a concern after his recent foot knock and was absent from training, with his availability for Saturday still uncertain. And then there is Marcus Rashford, and this could become one of the biggest stories around Manchester United heading into the new season. Rashford has returned to Carrington following his loan spell at Barcelona, and reports now claim that United officials have been seriously impressed by his attitude and work on the training ground. According to reports, the 28-year-old has completely embraced the situation, working relentlessly in training and making a positive impression around the squad. What makes this story even more interesting is Rashford's involvement with the younger players. He has reportedly been helping and mentoring academy talents, including 15-year-old JJ Gabriel and 19-year-old Shea Lacey, while also reconnecting with senior teammates such as Kobbie Mainoo and new signing Youri Tielemans. This is a very different picture from the uncertainty surrounding his future earlier in the summer. Instead of allowing the situation to become a distraction, Rashford appears to be treating his return as an opportunity to fight for his place all over again. And honestly, Reds, this is the kind of reaction I would want to see from a Manchester United player. If Rashford is genuinely hungry, physically sharp and mentally prepared to fight for his position, why shouldn't Carrick consider giving him another opportunity? We all know what Rashford can produce when confidence, form and fitness come together. The question is whether he can maintain this level of commitment once competitive football begins. Could this be the beginning of a genuine Rashford comeback at Old Trafford? Or do you think United should still listen to offers if the right proposal arrives? The Bruno Fernandes situation is another massive storyline developing around Old Trafford. Manchester United are reportedly in talks with their captain over a new contract, while Galatasaray continue to be linked with an enormous financial proposal. Reports have suggested that the Turkish club are prepared to offer Fernandes a package worth around €20 million per year. But the most important part of the story is that Bruno wants to stay, and United continue to insist that he is not for sale. That stance makes perfect sense to me. Bruno is not simply another midfielder in this Manchester United squad. He is the captain, the creative heartbeat of the team, and one of the players Carrick will rely on heavily if United are serious about competing at the top. Now let's move into the transfer market, because Manchester United are still looking for further midfield reinforcement, and one name that has emerged is Barcelona midfielder Marc Casado. Reports indicate that United have been offered the opportunity to sign the 22-year-old, with Barcelona prepared to consider his departure because competition for midfield places has made his position increasingly difficult. Barcelona are reportedly looking for a fee in the region of £25.7 million, although other reports have suggested a higher valuation around €30 million. Casado is an interesting profile because Barcelona themselves describe him as a defensive central midfielder who provides balance to the team. He is a product of La Masia, known for his work rate, leadership, and ability to operate in a deeper midfield role. From a football perspective, I can understand why Manchester United would look at him. Carrick wants a midfield capable of controlling matches, protecting the defence and progressing the ball, and Casado could potentially provide another option in that deeper role. But the big question is whether United actually need another midfielder of this type after bringing in André Santos and Youri Tielemans. Are the Reds looking for genuine competition for Santos, or are they simply exploring the market because an opportunity has presented itself? Then we have Carlos Baleba, and this could become one of the most fascinating midfield sagas of the final weeks of the transfer window. Brighton have previously placed an enormous valuation on the Cameroon international, reportedly around £100 million. But reports now suggest that the Seagulls could be willing to consider offers closer to £60 million to £65 million. That is a dramatic reduction and could potentially put Baleba back within Manchester United's reach. At the same time, Newcastle United have entered the race, adding another major Premier League competitor. United have been admirers of Baleba for a long time, and there is an obvious reason why. He is powerful, athletic, aggressive in midfield, and capable of covering huge amounts of ground. If United want a midfielder who can win duels, protect the defence and drive the team forward during transitions, Baleba certainly fits the profile. But at £60 million to £65 million, I would still ask whether United should go all in when they have already invested heavily in their midfield this summer. And this is where Adam Wharton enters the conversation. Manchester United continue to keep close tabs on the Crystal Palace midfielder, with the 22-year-old reportedly regarded as a potential option for Carrick as he looks to strengthen the deeper midfield position. United have already added André Santos and Youri Tielemans, but the idea appears to be that another midfielder could provide greater depth and tactical flexibility. Reports of United's interest in Wharton have been around for some time, and he remains a player admired by people around the club. Wharton is particularly interesting because of his ability to operate from deep and dictate play. There has been considerable debate among supporters about whether he is the perfect type of defensive midfielder for Carrick's system, or whether United needs someone more physically dominant. Personally, I think the attraction is obvious. Carrick knows better than most what a composed, deep-lying midfielder can bring to a team, and Wharton has the passing range and positional intelligence to potentially become a very important player in that role. But here is the big question, Reds. If Manchester United had the money to sign only one midfielder from Baleba, Wharton and Casado, who would you choose? Would you spend £60 million to £65 million on Baleba's power and athleticism? Would you go for Wharton's composure and passing ability? Or would you take the opportunity to sign Casado at a potentially lower price and trust Carrick to develop him into a key player? For me, the biggest issue isn't simply signing another midfielder, it is getting the balance right. United already have Santos, Tielemans, Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo, while Mason Mount can also contribute when fit. The next midfield signing therefore needs to bring something genuinely different, rather than simply adding another name to the squad. If United can find that player, then this could be a very exciting midfield under Carrick. And that brings us back to Saturday. The transfer market is important, the rumours are exciting, and the possibility of more signings will keep supporters talking. But now the attention has to turn towards Hull City. The opening fixture will tell us far more about this Manchester United side than any transfer rumour ever could. The players have spent weeks working under Carrick. The new signings have had time to integrate. The tactical structure has been tested during pre-season, and now the Premier League is waiting. Stay connected for more Manchester United updates.